Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Stephen Williams, founder and president of CreditRepairShop.com. Thank you for looking at me on YouTube or listening to my information on YouTube. You don't really care about me, but let's talk about the information. The first thing, you know how we always started. There's some new debt that's being placed into the market right now, and they want to do this in a hurry because they know that people are going to start getting their income tax refunds. And we're looking at some auto debt, not as much as we usually been seeing, but for this one, and I haven't got my full sheet for the month. You know, it was earlier in the month that they had released them, but these are some ones that they do individually. This one here is $2.7 million in auto loans. So what they're gonna do is they're gonna start going after to collect those, and then 1.8 million in small credit cards. Usually those are the department store cards. But let's talk about the first one with the auto loan. We had a potential customer call the office yesterday, and we were not able to take this person as a client. And let me tell you why. They had a repossession that had been taken, I think, more than 3 years ago. Repo, took the car, sold at auction, had the balance from the sale of what was owed on the car. They got a judgment against her, and they start their collection process. Now they started this 3 years later, so just to let you, so it could show you that stuff could come back at you, and it usually comes back at you when you least expect it. But she called, and my sales rep was like, can we help her? And I said, well, tell me what they want to do. This is what they said that they're going to do. They're going to come to her house and take possessions that she had. They're going to confiscate items. And I was like, that's strange. That's weird. They can't do that. And then I just started asking all the questions. I started thinking, okay, do they have a judgment? And then that's when I found out, yes, they had a judgment. And then once we asked about the judgment, we said, well, okay, what have they done since they got the judgment? They've garnished her wages. They've taken money out of her bank account, like actually seized funds out of her bank account. Well, they didn't garnish the wages. They seized funds from her bank account, and they seized her income tax refund. And then something starts spinning in my head, and I was like, where have I heard this before? What state in the United States allows people from any type of debt collection, but the number one is auto debt? What state? I'm gonna give you 3 seconds, or let's give you 5 seconds to figure out of all 50 states, and you probably have to be my age or like in your 40s to get the answer to this. What state in the United States would slant everything towards auto debt, to where it's 100% on the side of the collector, rather than even being 50-50, where the consumer has rights and the collection company has right? What state in the United States do you think that would be would have that type of an unbalanced scale when it came to auto repossessions? If you didn't guess it, I'm going to tell you right now, it is the state of Michigan. Probably about 4 years ago, I ran into a situation with a client where we were helping her with an auto repossession. And when we were sending documents and telling her what to do, and trying to work with the collector, they had a sense of arrogance with them. Like, there's nothing you can do about this repo. This lady is going to have to pay 100% of this repo, and I don't care what you had to say. And I was like, why are they so confident? We've worked out deals with numerous collectors that had auto repo debt. And I was like, why? And then I looked at it in the state of Michigan. The state of Michigan, the auto capital of the world, or it used to be the auto capital of the world, has some of the most draconian laws for collecting auto loan debt. It is unbelievable. they could do all types of things when it falls into that classification. And what they had threatened, and they had already taken the steps where they had taken her income tax money, they had went and seized money out of her bank account. You can't even do that without going an extra step in most states, and they are able to do that in Michigan. And then the next thing that they said that they're going to come to her house if she didn't make a down payment of $600 yesterday and $100 a month agreement on the payment. And so the only option that this lady would have is to file bankruptcy. I think she owed $12,000 more on the car. That is unbelievable, but that is a true story. Now, what I want to talk to you about today, which is something that I always do when clients call with these types of situations, and when we look at working on their credit, the situation that they might be in, to see like the first step. And if you've watched my other videos, I always talk about first you need to look at statute of limitations. And some people had emailed me and said, well, I don't know the statute of limitations for my state. This is stuff that, man, I've seen some states where they wiped out the debt collectors. What they did is they had someone with SEO services go into, and I guess they're trying to figure out ways to put that term in a section on Google and Bing and all the search engines where it's hard to find it. So what I did is I had downloaded it and put it on my website so you can look at it. But just to tell you, and a lot of people don't know this, let's just look at the state of Alabama. If you have a written contract and the debt collector does not, or the original creditor does not make contact with you for 3 years, it's over. No matter what, even if you owe it, it's over. Open-ended contract, 3 years. Promissory note, 6 years. Oral contract, 6 years. That's strange that you can have a written contract for 3 years, but on an oral contract, they can say, hey, and I think that's because of probably farming type community. That's weird. Now, for Alaska, it's 3 years, 6 years for an oral, 3 years for a note, and 3 years for open-ended accounts and credit cards. Listen to that. 3 years for open-ended accounts and credit cards. They haven't contacted you in that period of time. You can get rid of that debt. Let's look at some. Colorado is 6666. So for contracts, oral contracts, promissory notes, and open-end accounts, including credit cards, is 6 years across the board. We have, look at this, state of Illinois, 10 years, 5 years, 10 years, 5 or 10 years. That is incredible that they have, that you could owe a debt just because you come from Wisconsin or Indiana. I think those are states that touch there in Missouri. They're touching the borders of Illinois. You flip over, you move across the border, and you have credit card debt. You can end up owing 5 or 4 years longer just because you cross state lines. Kentucky, 15 years for a written contract, 5 years for an oral, 15 years for promissory, 5 to 15 years for credit card. This is unbelievable. Let's look at Louisiana. It's 3, 10, 10, 3. Louisiana was a farming area at one time, so you can see why they had that. Let's move down. New Hampshire is 3 across the board. New Jersey is 6 across the board. Let's see here. Rhode Island is 10 across the board. West Virginia is 10 across the board. My state of Wisconsin is 6, 6, and then 10 for a promissory note and 6 for credit cards. The state of Texas is 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, all 4s across the board. And also, the state of Texas does not allow you to garnish wages. So if you would like to see this statute of limitations form, you could go to my website. The link is below this video, and you can click it, and you can get access to that information and some other information absolutely free. But I do want you to sign up. I want to see the people that's looking at getting this information. Or you can just search over the internet. If you don't want to do that, I have it all listed right here. All right, this is Stephen Williams with the creditrepairshop.com. Thank you. Until next time.